what I'm speaking to, though, are these large corporations that are stewarding or controlling most of the wealth in the world. And they're the ones behind the rhetoric and the program that we keep learning, right? So the Rockefellers, they write the textbooks for the medical school, for the medical association, and they teach this to our children. They taught it to us. I mean, if you went to college, what you're learning is their program, which pushes money and makes us consumers so that we buy their goods and give them resources. What we're doing here is taking this Trinity model and we're cleansing all of that. And we're saying, no, we're not going to play it the old way. We're going to do it in a new way. We're going to be our own stewards, and we're going to utilize a lot of their tactics and strategies because they were very effective at it.
They got stuff done.
Legacy wealth and transitioned it outside the private. This is why a lot of your politicians don't want to disclose their tax returns, because they're using many of these tactics that we're talking about now, but they're using them more for nefarious purposes. They're trying to gather up wealth for themselves and make themselves wealthy. This strategy that I'm referring to, it clearly will bring abundance and it helps you steward abundance, but the idea behind it isn't about getting more and more and more for yourself. It's about being a steward of what it is that God has gifted you to steward while you're going through this journey right now. And the more faithful you are with a little, the more that will be given to you. And who are we stewarding for? The next generation, for God's children, which can be our own children as well. But that's the difference between that for-profit model, the dark entities, which are driven by profit, right? So if you don't keep making profit, it's considered a failure and you're going to go under, where you could be doing all kinds of good things in the community and for your constituents that are involved with your organization, but your driving principle is not simply about making money. And you don't cheat corners and do things that are unjust or dishonest just to make profit. And we all know that that's part of the matrix. I mean, that's why the CPA license, the big firms, they're helping these big corporations have separate sets of books, right? And cheat the investors in these corporations. And that's what we're moving away from, out of the dark entity and into a place where you're actually giving from an act of service from your heart, whatever God has gifted you as a message to help advance society or grow your community or serve your community, and without having to register it into the matrix where you're being taxed and extracted and regulated to the point where the small entrepreneur, medium-sized company finds it almost impossible to make abundance because the big companies are sucking it all up and we're having to try and follow in their footsteps. So we move away from that model and we start to operate a new model where there's true freedom to deliver your God-given gifts to your brothers and sisters without being extracted upon.